Hi guys! Today I'm really excited to share this recipe with you guys because I've been working on this recipe for a very long time. I've been looking for recipes for cinnamon buns, for these perfect cinnamon buns, like maybe some of you know when you go to Cinnabuns. They're so soft on the inside and then they have this delicious cream cheese frosting. So I was looking for a recipe that would be similar to this or like those that I had in Cinnabon, and I just couldn't find any, so I had to take a recipe and work on it to try to get it to perfection, and I think I have done it. At least we love this so much. It is so soft and delicious. So I'm really excited to share this recipe with you. So this recipe is not the basic cinnamon buns recipe. This one is with a fall twist, but you can also make this recipe just regular cinnamon buns, just leaving the fall ingredients out. So let's get started and make this delicious autumny cinnamon bun cake. The first thing you need to do is to warm up your milk, and you should warm it a little bit warmer than hand temperature, and then take a bowl, or I'm just using the measuring cup that I used for the milk, and I'm adding 5 tablespoons of quark. You could probably also use sour cream or anything similar. So I have the quark here, and now I will be adding the milk. I'll add a little bit first, and I'll mix that with the quark. Not a problem if there's some pieces left, but you want to mix it in a little bit. I have mixed now the milk with the quark, and you want it to be room temperature at the end. So if the temperature is lower, then you just need to heat it again until it reaches room temperature. And next I'm gonna add some of the flour and the sugar, and then on top of the sugar I'm gonna add the yeast. So the yeast reacts with the sugar, so you want it to be close to the sugar. And I'm gonna add the warm milk and quark mix. I'm gonna cover it with a towel and leave it to sit for about 10 to 15 minutes. So the butter has been sitting now for 10 minutes, and you can see that the yeast has started to work already. I don't know how it's called in English, but it started to expand, and now I'm gonna add the rest of the flour and soft butter, and I will mix it now for about 5 to 10 minutes until the dough has formed. And also in the meantime I've turned my oven on to 50 degrees Celsius, and I've turned it off So I'll put the dough to raise into the oven because now it's quite cold in the apartment. So I want the dough to sit in a warm place. So now it's been mixing for about 5 minutes. If you're using a hand mixer, it might take you about 10 minutes to get this consistency. But with a standing mixer, it will take you about 5 minutes. And I will be transferring the dough into another bowl. So now I'll just cover it with towels and put it in the oven or in a warm place for an hour. Then you need to take 6 apples, peel them and cube them into small pieces. Then turn a pan to medium heat and add some butter. So about 2 to 3 tablespoons, and you can throw in the apples right away. Then measure sugar with a teaspoon of cinnamon and add that to the apples. You want to cook the apples until soft first and then start to caramelize them lightly. Now we can see that almost all of the liquid has gone and the sugar is starting to caramelize on the apples. So now you want to watch it carefully until that last bit of liquid is gone, and then just remove the apples from the heat. Now the apples are ready and I've removed them from the heat. I will leave them to cool now until I will be using them. Then you want to soften the butter for the mix inside. So for the cinnamon spread, mix sugar with cinnamon, add it to the butter, and mix that all together with a fork. The dough has been now in the oven raising for about an hour, or actually a little over an hour. Let's see how it looks. Whoa, I didn't actually expect that. So it's come nicely, and now you want to flour the surface. And sprinkle some flour over the dough. And then you want to work it a little with your hands. I prefer to make the dough softer and then just add some flour at the end, because you cannot take any away if you've added it in the beginning. And then you can start rolling it. Now I've rolled out the dough. You want it to stay quite thick still. So you can see it's about, I don't know, maybe half a centimeter to centimeter. And then you want it to be so about 60 centimeters length and 30 centimeters in the width. Problems with pronouncing again. but you get it. Next, you take the cinnamon butter and start spreading that. And spread it nicely until the edges. And next I will be adding the caramel apples, but they've released some of the liquid, so I don't want that liquid on the buns. So I'm just taking like this and waiting until the liquid is gone, and then I'm just adding the apples. Also, if you want to make just regular cinnamon buns, you can leave the apples out. And now I will be rolling the cinnamon rolls. That's the cinnamon dough roll, the huge roll there. And now I have prepared 2 tins that are 20 centimeters. You can also use one big one, or you can bake them as separate rolls if you wish. But I've noticed that when you bake them in a tin or in a pan, they tend to be softer than when you bake them as singles. And now I will be cutting them, so about, let's see, so I'm gonna be precise, about 5 centimeter pieces. And I think I will place them right away into my pan. So I want to place them a little bit apart from the edge, and also a little bit apart from each other, because they will still expand. Now again, cover with a towel and let the dough sit for about 45 minutes to 1 hour, so it can grow again. And now let's check how the cinnamon buns are looking. You see, some magic has happened. They've grown really nicely, nice and big, and they will raise more in the oven. I've prepared an egg and milk wash. 1 egg, a little bit of milk, and now I will brush the buns with this. Now they're ready, and I will pop them in the oven for 35 to 40 minutes. So yesterday it was already pretty dark when I was ready with the baking, so I kept one of the cinnamon cakes for today, and now I will be releasing it from the pan. So I'm just helping with my spatula a little. I think the cinnamons or the cinnamon rolls, they taste the best when they are warm. So because this I baked yesterday, I'm gonna pop it in the microwave for about a minute on 600 watts for just to warm it up a little bit. And while the cake is in the microwave, or if you are baking the cake and eating it right away, then you can make this once you have the cakes out of the oven. So I'm making the cream cheese frosting to go on top. First I need to take 5 tablespoons of powdered sugar. If you like cinnamon as much as I do, then you can add half a teaspoonful of cinnamon to the frosting as well. And the last ingredient is the cream cheese, also 5 tablespoons. And then you just want to stir it all together. So the cake is warm. Now I'm gonna transfer it to my serving plate. And brush it with this delicious cream cheese. You want the cake to be warm, but you don't want it to be hot, because otherwise the cream cheese frosting, it will just melt all over the cake. And also I've prepared some pecan nuts. I've roasted them lightly, and now I will sprinkle them over the frosting. This is my delicious cinnamon rolls or cinnamon bun cake recipe with an autumn twist. I hope you like this recipe and let me know if you try it out. Thank you for watching my video. Bye bye until next time.